Hey guys, welcome back to the page. So I see you have a little interest in what goes into preparing for a Spartan Ultra Beast. If you don't know what an Ultra Beast is, let me go into a few little details about what the Spartan Race series is. Very quickly, there's a series of 3 races. There's the Sprint, the Super, and the Beast. I'm sure you've heard that in other pages, I'm sure you've heard that in other videos, and I'm sure you've heard that there's a 4th race called the Ultra Beast. Essentially what the Ultra Beast is, it's 1 lap of the Beast multiplied by 2. That's right, 2 laps. Now if you know anything about the Spartan series, 1 lap of the Beast is about 13 to 16 miles. So just a few details about this particular Beast are really just one, because everything else on their website kind of talks about the scenery and the beauty of what this race actually is. So here it is. Alright, Mount Vernon Peak has a 1,040 feet vertical with a base of 440 feet and a summit elevation of 1,480 feet, with plenty of room to go up and down countless times. And that's directly quoted from the Spartan website, guys. So there you have it, just a few details about the actual face of this mountain. Going to be going up and down this mountain multiple times, having fun for about 13 hours, 12 hours, hopefully less. Now, just to give you more detail about this particular race, they're predicting about 30 miles, 60 obstacles or more. It says 60 plus obstacles. It's essentially a long race with a bunch of obstacles in it. So, there takes a lot of preparation into going into that, and what I have to do right now is put together my bucket for my transition area, which is in the middle of the race. So what this video is going to detail is what I'm going to put in my bucket that works for me. It worked at Killington, Vermont, and from what I'm hearing, it will work at Jersey as well. So, I'm going to go inside and take you with me as we go check out what I have in my bucket. As for right now, cutting, pasting, going inside. Alright guys, so here I am. Welcome back. We were outside. I moved inside. I took my hat off, as you can tell. So here I am in my living room on my floor getting ready to prepare for this Ultra Beast. Now notice I've already laid everything out. When I prepare for these races, I like to see everything I have before I store it in my bucket. And I'm going to go through each individual thing that I have in my bucket. Now in this bucket here is where I'm going to stick all this stuff in. What is this bucket used for? Remember I said there's 2 laps. 13 to 16, first lap. Second lap, double it up. In between the 2 laps, there's a corral where runners get to stop, take a break, change their clothes, change their shoes, whatever it may be. In my case, we're going to store away some food and some clothes and my pack. Another thing that I'm packing in here is the actual clothes that I'm going to wear at the beginning of the race, so this is actually going to be packed a little tighter than it actually is for race day. So, first thing we all have is a standard bucket that we buy at a hardware store, any hardware store you want. I use this one for my Killington Ultra Beast. There's still some Killington dirt in there. Now already inside is a permanent marker. I like to have these around everywhere I go. They're really important. I mean, I taped this bucket up in Killington last minute and look, the marker still works. So these things are great to have no matter what. There's a few things that are mandatory in the race that you have to have before you even set foot on the course, and it's also smart to have. A lot of these Ultra Beasts start in the dark and finish in the dark, so mandatory, some headlamps. Make sure they're waterproof. I learned my lesson last year in the race. Guess what? When they're not waterproof and you go in to swim, they stop working. If you don't have a working headlamp, they pull you off the course. So make sure it works, lights up. Alright, and I have my backup here just in case this one breaks. So we're going to stuff that in there. On top of that, I'm going to stick 3 AAA batteries. I'm actually going to stick these in a Ziploc bag, so I'm not going to stick those in there just yet. And I'm probably going to double up just to be sure that I have enough batteries. But fresh batteries along with the batteries that are already in your headlamp. Another requirement, Glowsticks. Guess what? Those headlamps might break midway. This might be the only light you have. So guess what? These are awesome to have around as well, and also a requirement. So that goes in there. Alright, next I have Body Glide. You guys know what Body Glide is for? Keeps the chafing away. Good to have around. Got some sugary stuff here, some candies. So just know that These types of sugars, they dissipate in your blood fast, so this is great to put in there. And also the citric acid helps in recovery in the body with some other great stuff like cramping. Alright, Clif Bars. Clif Bars are great nutrition out there, high in fat. They're a little tough to eat, but guess what? This is all you have out there. So these fit great in there. My buddy likes to cut them up into smaller pieces and put them in Ziploc bags because of that exact reason, that they're so complicated to eat and hard to digest sometimes in the races. Okay, next we have mustard packs. Mustard, yeah, simple, regular mustard. There you go, mustard, you see? What's the mustard for? Instant cramp relief. Apparently the acids in there, the folic acid I think it's called, helps out with cramps as well. And when you're out 30 miles and you get an instant cramp in your leg or your back or your butt or whatever it is, it hurts. Okay, another great thing, and these, I actually love these, we have Clif blocks. What's so great about these? They're easy to carry. Do I have any open ones around here? I don't want to open the pack. Give me 1 sec, I'll be right back. Alright guys, so I'm back. I went and ran around my house, so I had a little edit break there, and here I am back. And as you can see, I've added a few extra things. So I said I was going to grab you an example of Clif blocks. So these things are great. This is what they look like, alright? They're gummies. And I don't want to open it because it's a waste, but they're little square gummies, and they're great to eat. They're great to chew on. They're not hard to eat. They're not like these Clif bars that are really hard and heavy on your stomach. I've used many of these in many races, and I actually love them. So as you can tell, I have two kinds. I have caffeinated and uncaffeinated. Obviously the caffeine, if you need that extra little jolt to go quickly. Alright, so I'm not going to stick that in just yet because I want to make sure I'm organized. Now you'll notice I added a few extra things here. As I said, I was going to grab extra batteries. And so I got 2 sets of batteries, and I'm going to tape them together, 3 and 3, so that way I have 2 battery packs. I'm going to stick them in here so they stay dry and not flopping around. So got to keep that safe. Another important thing that I've found running races is these nip guards right here. Yep, that's right, nip guards. They protect these. Nothing worse than running and having your shirt rub up against your nipples and then you get chafed up. Man, it hurts. It really hurts, and it's uncomfortable, guys. Some people love them, some people don't use them, they find them useless. Me personally, I love them. I like my nipples right where they are. You guys, I hope, have heard of these things right here. Noon, hydration. I'm actually going to stick a second pack in here. These things are awesome. These are just like Alka-Seltzer tablets. You stick them in your water pack, and they add electrolytes and a bunch of great nutrients that your body needs. They also have some that are energy, and they also have some that have vitamins A, B, and C for your nutrient intake for your day. So you have options, guys. So you have that. Okay, next, I like to carry plastic bags. They're just useful. You put in your dirty clothes, you put in your muddy shoes, so that way when you're ready to leave or you take it out, it's easier to clean out your bucket at the end of the day. So plastic bags, they're good to have around. I'm going to have one for right now. I'm going to stick a second one. Another thing you see me holding here is duct tape. Now duct tape, you never know. It's the best Band-Aid you can have because regular Band-Aids fall off. So you can ultimately, if you get an injury, you get a piece of duct tape and wrap yourself. Or if you need to make a splint randomly out of anything, like you roll your ankle, break your leg, break a wrist, duct tape is very helpful. What we like to do when we get to the location is just pull out a giant strip, maybe 6 to 10 feet long, and roll it up really tight so it doesn't take up too much room in your pack. Obviously you don't want to be carrying the whole roll, but it's good to have in your bucket. What else am I putting in there as equipment? You notice I have two bladders for my Camel Pack, and I have a small Camel Pack. I've actually used a bigger one, and I've come to find out that this one is actually perfect. It's a women's cut, unfortunately, so the straps fit differently on my chest. It's a little uncomfortable, so when you go buy these, make sure you're buying the one proper to your gender, okay, whether it be a men's or women's. And the only reason that they say they have that is because of the cut of the strap and the chest here. Okay, now next thing I have is gloves. I'm not a fan of using gloves too often, but they're really helpful, especially if you have a tear like I do in my hand. I have full finger gloves, which I will probably not use. They're a backup pair. And I'll just stick those in there. And then I have these. These gloves are actually specifically made for Spartan races. Review on them, I'll give you later. I do like to have them. They're very helpful. Are they my favorite thing to use? Probably not, but they do come in handy. They are a great tool to have around. So just now comes the second lap gear. Okay, as you can see, I have vacuum packs. All right, in here, I've decided to put an extra set of tights, an extra pair of compression boxers, a compression shirt, and a long sleeve athletic wicking shirt. Why vacuum packed? Well, first, there's a whole change of clothes in here. Look how small this pack is. Second, if something breaks and spills in here, do you really want to put on clothes that's sticky and smelly? Personally, I don't. Oh, and I also have an extra pair of socks in here. So that goes in there. Guess what else I have? A towel. Spartan doesn't provide us with an area to change in the transition zone, and I don't want to go to jail for indecent exposure. And I kind of want to take the mud and dirt off that's already there, so vacuum pack, a towel. And for me, safety is important, and I am that guy that finds the holes that nobody's looking for, so I also packed a good old trusty ankle brace. As you can see, the bucket's now starting to get full, and you have to make a puzzle out of it. Alright, one of my other things that I like to add in there is a second pair of shoes. I usually use these as my second pair. Why? They're a little bit bigger in size than these, and I did that on purpose because when you run long distance races, your feet start to swell, and when you change your shoes, sometimes you have instant swelling, so you might as well give your feet some room to grow. I just washed these yesterday. They're still a little humid. I don't want to stick them in there and smell up my pack, but I don't vacuum pack these, obviously. They're shoes. They're going to get wet. So definitely just make sure you have them clean. And another important thing, which I forgot at a race once, and it was horrifying, is running in your trail shoes with no insoles. So make sure that when you wash your shoes and you take the insoles out, when you pack them, that you're packing your insoles back in there. So I'm taking a second pair of shoes. All right, I'm also going to stuff in this box, in this bucket, in the pack. And this one's important as well. This is another safety thing, is a thermal blanket. I actually have it double bagged in here. I have it vacuum sealed, and I've had this vacuum sealed for years. Keep it in my pack at all times, especially if you're running in the mountains. It's really helpful. Another good thing to have right here is a dry bag. And the last thing, which I think I left it in my car, is my electrolyte salt tabs, and that's just going to go in another Ziploc bag and possibly in here just to make sure they stay dry, because guess what? Pills aren't supposed to get wet until you eat them. So now here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to dump everything out. As you saw me put everything in there, I'm actually going to organize my bucket to make sure that I can fit everything properly. So there it is. The bucket is fairly organized. There's a few more things that I forgot to tell you about, and that's if you have any medical issues. I'm asthmatic, so guess what? It's not a bad idea for me to take what's important to me out there, and it's my tools for breathing. I have my backup, which is almost empty, and I have my newer one, which is almost full. This is good to have it out in the race since it's almost empty. If I lose it or it gets damaged, I won't be so upset. So make sure you have a backup, guys. All your medication should be backed up, just like your hard drives and anything you own. So remember, guys, this is very important. If you have any medical issues, prepare for them, because you're out in the woods. There's not really much else that you can that you're going to get help-wise. You're going to have medics available, and you're going to have ambulances and whatnot there on scene, but they're limited. So if you have any medication, make sure you take it. So guess where this is going? At least my backup is going into my toiletry bag, not in here. Obviously I don't want it to get tossed around in there. So I'm going to keep this separate. Another thing that I forgot to buy, and it's quite important, is actually toilet paper. And I don't mean a roll of Charmin that you put in your bucket. You can go to Bass Pro Shops, or some camping stores might have them. They sell these compressed tissues that are biodegradable, and that's important. Remember to get biodegradable because you're going to be out in the woods. They make towels that are compressed, that are in little tablets, or maybe about the size of a nickel, and maybe the thickness of like 4 or 5 nickels stacked together. You buy these biodegradable paper towels, and they're great for wiping your rear end when you're out in the races. That's something to think about because there's no porta potties. And yes, we've all heard the myth of, or the use of acorns. Is it acorns? Sorry, pine cones. So that sounds painful to me, and I have to tell you, I'd rather have a towel versus a pine cone or a leaf. And using my clothes to wipe back there is not an option, seeing that I need my clothes to keep me warm. So as for right now, guys, you see the bucket. The only thing that's missing really are those few things that I told you about. I'm going to stick my pack in there, and we cover it up. This magical duct tape, seal it up. I'm sure TSA is going to love getting their hands on this one when I stick it in the plane. But essentially, this is going to be my survival guide while I'm out in the mountains. So, guys, that's mine. It works well for me. Obviously, there's things in here you can change that work better for you. So try new things. Really don't go so far from what you train with, but important to properly pack it and make sure that you have everything necessary, including a change of clothes. For me, it's one of the most important things. As for right now, I hope you found this video a little bit informative. I had a great time putting it together. And race footage on the way. Hopefully, again, you find something useful, and see you out in the races, guys. Always remember to like the pages, follow me on Instagram, follow me on Facebook, Juzgo Motivations. On YouTube, as you're watching right now, hit that subscribe button down below. It's helpful. Future links available as well. Websites are coming, you name it, I'm working on it. But for right now, this is far more important. Alright guys, gonna let you go. Signing off now.